All right, so I think we got everybody on the Golf Genius team here. Sure we'll have some attendees that are going to be jumping on here in the next few minutes, but we've got a pretty good group, so we'll go ahead and get started. This is Patrick's either with GBN right now. We've got Nick Wolf, Justin Myers, and Greg Stark with Golf Genius here today. And I appreciate everybody taking the time to attend the webinar. I wanted to just mention that we want to make this interactive, so as much as we can, there's the ability to ask questions through the webinar. You can type them in. There's also a chat service, so if you have any questions, use either the Q&A or the chat. We'll try to get them answered by the end of the webinar. Maybe not right as they come in, but I'll try to insert those and get those answered by the team from Golf Genius. So again, appreciate everybody taking the time and for Golf Genius being here. Nick, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Patrick. Again, I'm Nick Wolf. I know a lot of you through my days as a club pro and also now with Golf Genius for the past 5 years. Most of you, I'm sure, are customers of our tournament software. Many of you are premium, and we appreciate your business. What we've done with this new product is really went on our experiences of our 30 golf professionals that we have in sales, support, and account management, and product development, or product management, I should say, and thought about other things that we could help the golf pro with, in their operations to make them more efficient, free up time, and ultimately look better for their members. So we have a product called Golf Genius Golf Shop. It automates the speaking and tracking, and with that has a big emphasis on automating member communication in a customized way and in the way that they want to see it these days, not only with email, but we'll have text coming soon as well. And we know that 96% of texts get read within the first 4 minutes, which has been a huge feature of our software on the tournament side. We also have demo club tracking that we will show you too. And what I want you to keep in mind with all of this is that, we're showing you a lot of what I would call blocking and tackling at first, meaning we have a product that is very, very functional, and we're adding a lot more to it as we go, kind of like the tournament software that we have that's had about 1,300 new features, almost all customer driven, like from suggestions from PGA professionals like yourselves, added 1,300 features over the last 4 years to the product. So I'm not sure there's 1,300 features in this product. It's fairly simple, but it's very, very effective. We launched the new product at the PGA show. We saw some of you there. We had over 130 appointments for the new Golf Shop Genius product that we had at the PGA show. We have 77 new customers since we started selling on February 1. And we're thrilled that you're attending here to see it today. So I have Justin Myers, who's our Middle Atlantic sales director, who's a PGA professional, and then also Greg Stark, who just joined our team, who's our director of sales in the Northeast. Also experienced PGA professional to show you this today. I'm traveling with one of the other sales guys out west, and we're getting ready to walk in to a demo at the Los Angeles Country Club right now for the Golf Shop Genius product. And we think we have a nice product for all of you. We'd love to get your feedback, and I would say that being a customer on the ground floor, so to speak, has its advantages. What you've seen here is that the suggestions from our beta test clubs, many of which you'll recognize, the Country Club, Chevy Chase, the Patterson Club. We had Olympia Fields Country Club, Northwood Club, Preston Trail, and Brook Hollow, all as a test group. It started back in November, December, and we're taking many suggestions from the clubs we just signed up as well. So I'll turn it over to Justin right now and Greg. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Patrick. Certainly see some familiar names. So good afternoon, everybody. It's good to talk to you guys virtually and look forward to seeing some of you again personally here in the next few weeks or months. As we continue to go through, like Patrick said, this really is designed to be interactive. So if you have any questions or you want to see something or anything along those lines, you can either use the chat feature or if you'd like to just speak up and ask the question. Both Greg and I will talk some as I'm sort of demoing the product and going through different things. Greg will chime in with some additional details here and there. So if you have questions, please, like I said, just jump in at any point in time. Can everybody, just want to make sure everyone can see the dashboard. Greg, you can see everything okay?
Yeah, we're good here, Justin.
Great. So as you can see to start with, no different than our tournament product. It's a web-based cloud solution that's going to give you the ability to have access to your special orders and your demo club tracking anywhere that you need to. So whether it be on a tablet or a laptop or your computer at home or at the golf shop or clubhouse, you can see what's going on. The dashboard is designed to sort of take you through the special order process from putting the order together, placing it to the vendor, tracking it through transit, and then completing that process once it gets to the club. So as we move through each one of those stages, we'll go through a couple details on those. But before we really get started with the ordering process, I do just want to go through some of the general visual details and usability of the product and the fact that you've got your special orders, you've got a dashboard, you've got your demo clubs with a dashboard. We'll get to that. Your demo inventory. Your members do sync over from your Golf Genius product. So if you do have our tournament product, it will come over from there as well, so that your members come over automatically. Additionally to that would be the vendors, and we do upload those for you via a spreadsheet that you guys would send to us. So a lot of that setup process is automated as we can make it to this point, but that does get all of your information into the account and set up so that you can start using it quickly. Member types, you can track member types if you'd like to. So if you've got different percentages of markup or anything that you do based on your different membership groups, you can track those as well. And in our settings, you can set your own PO number to start with, and then it'll track up from there. So if you do have a set PO system that you're already utilizing and have already made your way into through the season, you can start at that number and the system will pick up from there and keep going. And then as we get to the member notifications, I'll actually switch over to our test server and show you what those features are, as they are still set to come out later next week, and we'll show you how the emails can be fully customized with your banners, your logos, your messages as you communicate with the member throughout the process. If we jump back to our dashboard here, we can go ahead and start an order. New special order. Select your vendor from the group. You can certainly type in if you need to. Bobby Jones. Customer, you can go with your members or your guests. Guests, you're going to enter in their name and email. Otherwise, your members, you can select those from, again, like I said, your drop down. Oops, spell my name correctly. Your products are set up so that you've got soft goods, hard goods, and accessories, and within those, you've got drop down. So maybe I'm going to purchase something for my wife. It's a ladies. I'll buy her an outerwear jacket. If you've got any SKU items or SKU number system that you want to utilize, you can certainly do so here as well. Otherwise, the item description is going to be where you can put in any details about the item, and really keeping these details as accurate as you can is going to be important, because that's going to be the detail that goes to the vendor via the email, but is also tracked throughout the order in the special order process. So say you can track your wholesale and normal selling price. So if you guys have retail markups, you can do that as well. Say 95 for this one. Quantity, special instructions, whether it be for a drop ship or anything along those lines. Perhaps we can put place in the locker upon arrival. And then logos, any logos that you want to add, you certainly can. In this case, maybe we're going to pick TPC Piper Glen. I can say left chest. Scroll down over here to the left. We can go ahead and refresh my Wi-Fi here. We'll go ahead and search for our order. There's our jacket. So no matter whether it's a busy portion of the season, you've got a lot of orders going on at once throughout the different processes. You can see exactly where your orders are based on member name, vendor name. So searching is very easy to do. As we track this order, we've placed it. We can now place it to our actual vendor via the phone. So our phone number for the vendor, we can call them if we're going to utilize that option. Obviously, you have your B2B websites that you guys may utilize. Web link would be here. You can click on that to go to it. Or one of the automated pieces that we've built in is the ability for you to automatically send an email to your rep. You can add anything here if you'd like to. This is a rush delivery. And this is really where I'd like to jump over to our test server, just so you can see really what is now capable within the ability to customize that email. Before it was a fairly static message that was auto-populated, but now you've got the ability to change your subject to anything that you'd like to. Any of the information that you'd like to utilize within the system, it's similar to setting up your scorecards where there are dynamic fields. So if you want to include the club name, club phone, any of those items, you can just select those from the fields over here at the right. It'll auto-populate into the email for you. And then at the bottom, you can see a preview of that email before it goes out so that you can kind of just make sure that it looks the way you want it to. It's got your banner, your logo, so you guys can customize that as you'd like to as well. And then any information about the actual item would be included in the body below.
Hey, Justin.
Yes.
This is Patrick. We had a question come in, and I think it was from Sarah. Sarah, thanks for the question, Sarah Dixon. She wants to know about, is it possible to have the system not email a member when entering the special order? So do you have the ability to either say yes or no if the email goes?
You do. Yeah, right here you can now turn that on or off if you'd like to. So if you don't want to email the vendor, or you don't want to email the member when it's in transit or when it's received, you can toggle those on or off.
But that's a system setting. That's not like on a individual PO basis.
Correct. And right now it's just at a system level. Obviously, I think we are planning on working on getting that utilization at either the member or at least at the actual order level as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think for her question here, I think that would have to happen on the PO level for her, because she's saying, for instance, if we happen to order their item on the fly but don't enter it in until a later date, we would want to restrict that email so the member doesn't think we just ordered it. So yeah, I think that would probably have to happen on the PO level, but just
yeah, I completely understand where Sarah's coming from, and we're working towards some of those additional details. This was a big piece for us to get in place right now, which was just the ability for you to manage which ones go out sort of at a multi-level process, but also to get them customized for your message, your club details with your logos and your banner, so that your brand is going out and going to the member as you want it to, and it's not just a generic Golf Shop Genius email or something along those lines.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. In this case, I'll jump back to our demo test here, and I'll go ahead and place the order. You can see now that it's moved into the order placed category. That is going to go ahead and send out the email to the member. And like I said, this is still the version we just saw is the one that's getting released. Here's the email to the vendor currently. Again, it does include the logo, so they can download that or at least reference it if you've got multiple logos that you possibly send for order. But it's going to include it in all the information about the order to the vendor so they can get that and place the order for you. Maybe a day, maybe an hour, maybe a couple, hopefully less than a few days, but the vendor calls you back, says we've got it. We're putting it in delivery, and they give you a delivery date. Just hit next, pick your delivery date. Maybe they say it's going to be here on Monday for us. They give us any shipping information, perhaps it's FedEx, and they'll give us a FedEx number. We can include those details here. When we hit confirm, it's going to do two things. It's going to move it into in transit, which we can now see. It's going to send an email over to the member just to let them know that it has been placed. And again, this is where you can now customize those emails with your specific messages, your specific logos and details. This is just the current active version so that you can see the process as it's moving. It does include the tracking number. It does include the date that it's ordered, expected delivery date. But again, if we jump over to, this is when the order's in transit, so now you can still customize that message, change it to whatever you'd like to. And again, preview the email before it's finalized. As you can see in our in transit, if it's in transit for longer than 1 day past its expected delivery date, it will pop up with a nice visual indicator that shows that that item is overdue. So it may be something we need to call our vendor and just check on, see where it is, see if maybe it got held up, but at least we do realize that it's now past the due date of what they've given us. we'll say the item came in, it came in early, it came in today. Confirm there as well. And then this will be the final sort of automated message out to the member if you have that portion turned on. And again, it's just going to let them know that the item is at the shop and can come by and pick it up when it's ready. But again, you can now customize that message however you'd like to. So whether it be requesting them to call the shop or let them know that it's in their locker, whatever you prefer to do, you can do so just by customizing that email in the box. We've gotten it in. We can now mark it complete. Now, if we've got the special order information and we can charge the member's account, we can go ahead and mark it as charged as well. Perhaps we don't have a vendor invoice just yet, so we'll hit save. We now can see in the completed category here, we do have a couple things that have been finished, but we've not charged this one to Greg for his Dunning shirt. We haven't gotten a vendor invoice yet for Julie's shirt here. We do have a couple others that are finalized, and we'll move off the completed tab within the next 24 hours. But again, it's going to give you a quick and easy way to visually see exactly what products and what orders are in which stage, but also as you come to the end of the week or end of the month and you want to get all of your charges put through and make sure you're getting your revenue for the club for the special orders, but also getting your vendor invoices in on a timely manner, you can do so that you can clean up everything for getting those to accounting as well. The customized email function is coming out next week. So Dave, just to answer your question, it's not currently live, but it is already on our test server and set for release next week. So it'll be going live in just a matter of time. Any other questions from the group on the special orders to this point? They are color coded by the sideline here, just so you can see which ones are soft goods, hard goods, and accessories. So again, just some additional visual indication to try to help you guys stay organized and streamline that process as much as possible for you. Reset this back to our full dashboard. Demo clubs, I think everybody knows that tracking demo clubs, the hardest thing is getting them into a system. A lot of times we have either clipboards or papers that we're going to write down who takes the demo club out. They grab one, they walk through the shop. It's a busy time frame. That note maybe gets turned over and used for a voicemail note or a message to someone else, and then it disappears. And that that demo club could come back in 6 weeks. It may come back in a month. It may not come back till the end of the year. So being able to track those items is obviously a big piece from our experience of keeping up with those items, keeping up with that expense, but also making sure that we have those in-house to let other members and guests see them so that you guys can make sure that you're getting as many sale opportunities as possible off of each one of those clubs. This is your dashboard. It's going to give you a quick visual indication of who's got what. So it's a member's name, exactly what item they have, any notes that you may keep about the demo portion, the issue date, the expected return date. So quickly and easily you can see visually that we've got one that's red that's 2 days late. We've got one that's pink that's due today. And we've got two that are still in the life cycle of the demo for the club. One that's 2 days out, one that's 4 days out. But you've got a nice little bar here that will fill up as those go. Your inventory can be as detailed as you'd like it to, from either the type of driver, type of wedge, type of putter, all the way down to the shaft, the make, the size, the length, the grip. Or you can keep it as simple as Cameron 1, Cameron 2, Vokey 1, Vokey 2. So it's really kind of up to you and your staff as to how much level you want to put into the inventory for the demo clubs, but we do want to give you the capability to track those as much as you'd like to. Entering the demo is very quick and easy. As we mentioned, you just hit new demo, grab your customer type. Maybe it's member name, or this one, take me to range. It's today. I'll bring it back on Saturday. I'm going to try the new M5 driver, and I'm going to hit save. And that's it. So that demo club is now ready to be tracked. Communication via the demo club product is coming out in that next release as well for email communications, which if I jump back over here to our custom screen, we can take a look at those as well. And that would be the ability for you to send out a message or a reminder to the member or guest either after the club is certain days overdue or scheduled to be turned back in a certain number of days as well. You can actually do one, the other, or both. So if you want to maybe send out a reminder and ask them how the demo is going, 2 days before it's due back, or send them out another nice message for maybe it's 3 days overdue, just to remind them to bring it back as well.
Hey Justin, we had had a question come in on the chat about the demo club tracker, and I think Nick had told me that either you guys were working on it, but a mobile app. Is there a mobile app?
Not a mobile app currently. It is functional right now on tablets, and the phone functionality will be coming soon. It's not quite fully up to sizing 100% on the phone. You can certainly do it, but it's not where it really should be to use it on the phone level. But the app is something we've looked at. I don't know where it would be in our development process. It's not one that's on the short list currently. Okay,
but is it mobile responsive, meaning like in that it would look different? Like if you were on a mobile device, it would detect that you were, and
yes.
Okay, and it's doing that currently, or that's coming.
It is on the tablet quite well. It's not fully 100% on the phone yet. So that's one of our shortlist items to get done as well, because we know that would obviously be a very handy, useful tool to have it on your phone if you're on the range, giving a demo or a lesson, and you're handing clubs to someone to be able to add it directly from the phone. Yeah.
That's where you want the demo. So that's where you want to be able to do it. So Mike, hopefully that was Mike Demakis from Nantucket. Hopefully that answered your question there. It sounds like you can use it pretty handily with an iPad on the practice tee. Gotcha. Yeah, I see that now. Yeah, the iPad I think works perfectly fine right now. It's just the phone sizing that's not 100% yet. Got it. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Jump back over here so we can see the nice one other piece we've put in here for you is the ability to, when you return a club, you can mark it as returned, which will put it right back into your inventory for to issue or reutilize again. You can mark it as purchased, which in this case is nice because you can track any of your actual demos that were sold, exactly when they were sold and who they were sold to. But we can also really, as the driving sort of idea is to then take your demos and put them into orders. So they come back, they hand you the club, they return it. All you have to do is click on the third item here, which is that it's been returned, but the member wants to order that club. You hit save, it's going to take you right back into the special order user interface, auto-populate a lot of the club details for you, and take you back through the special order process with the same communications that we've seen to this point. Greg, Justin,
yeah,
I was gonna say, what can you tell us about, like, what's next? Nick mentioned this is kind of the blocking and tackling. Yeah. I want to make sure we get kind of a clean and clear understanding of really what's there right now. It is a very useful tool to this point. We've got 75 clubs that have already signed up for it in its current version, so it is functionally working. It's been very helpful for a lot of those folks that have used it already. Coming down the road would be, obviously I think long term would be a lot of integration opportunities. You've seen that we can do that with the tournament product, with a lot of our partner vendors, with Club Essentials, Jonas. So we're definitely looking to go down that route of integrating not only with hopefully point of sales, but long term getting it to where you can take it all the way from the purchase to the charge to even into the accounting software with QuickBooks or whatever you may be using, and really take it 100% through that process all the way through.
And Patrick, I think the other thing that we've been discussing a lot about is the order form itself, where Justin was showing you the categories and whatnot. That's going to be really important from a reporting structure, sizing, categories of product. That's going to help guys down the road when they're doing, their stock orders for the season. So to get those reporting structures and get those tools in place to help them be successful, down the road in the next season too. Right.
And I think, what about the member profile side of things? Is that kind of where you're talking about, like, getting sizing and stuff like that?
Yeah, for us, I think that all kind of goes into the form, version and getting those fields where you can customize those a little bit differently and track a lot of that member profile data, Patrick, that they've seen with gyms, and certainly is very valuable in can be utilized in a couple different ways, not only from open to buy plans, but also seeing kind of what your members are buying, what size runs you need to pay attention to. So the reporting piece we know is very important, and we're working on that now to get that strong and valuable. The other piece we're certainly looking at is trying to integrate with a lot of the B2B websites so that you can still utilize the TaylorMade B2B website or the Acushnet B2B website, so that if there are any built-in discounts through those programs, that we can still, quote unquote, talk through the special order process to those and get them in directly that way. It would also be nice to be able to see, what items are already on back order, what sizes are available, so that really cut down the time frame of questions between you, your customer, and the vendor, and what really can be provided and when.
No, that's great. That's great. Appreciate the info there. And I'm not sure how much more you have, Justin, that you want to go through. I did want to mention, and Nick and I have been talking about this, but and Justin, you can maybe talk a little bit more about it, but I think there's some sort of I call it maybe like an early bird special for the first number of accounts that you guys are setting up that you have special pricing for, and Nick allowed me to mention that he's going to extend that to GBN members, that so if a GBN member signs up past that early number, they will still get that early pricing. So there is a benefit as a GBN member on pricing.
Yeah, no, that's great, Patrick. Thank you. I knew you guys had talked about it. I didn't want to jump into it just yet, but just in case you guys had more details to nail down. But yeah, the early adopter program is so the product's going to retail for $1,700 on an annual basis. The early adopter program is going to be $500 off of that, so it'd be $1,200, and then there's no setup fee for that program either. So it'd be $1,200 for the first, honestly, right now 13 months, because we're including one extra month out of the normal annual subscription. So it's a nice time to get on board. Obviously, like Nick said, being kind of involved now also gives you a much louder voice. When there's 75 people to listen to, it's easier to get some of those details nailed down and put in place versus as we get more and more using the product.
Sure. And we did just have another question come in there, Justin. I'm not sure if you've got it or not, but when the functionality will be added to have separate line items on the same PO number?
It is on the short list, that, and also the ability to add multiple demos to the same, multiple clubs to the same demo order. I couldn't give you a time frame on those two, but we know that those two are very important for just the quick use and ease of functionality. So our short list was really to get the email customization piece done with your banners, your logos, so we can protect and keep a very consistent brand for our users going out to their members. The next piece will be coming out will be text messaging, both for the special orders and on the demo club side. We've seen it with such success in the text message edition in the tournament side. We really wanted to get that put into this product as soon as we possibly could. So that'll be coming out somewhere in the next few weeks. And then after that, we'll be looking at a lot of those sort of high-end items that we've already mentioned and that have already come up in some of the questions that we're looking at getting added as soon as we can.
And just out of my own curiosity, do you have a set schedule of releases of updates, or is that just kind of comes as they're available?
No, it's going to mirror and already is mirroring what we've done with the tournament software product, as far as there's usually going to be a release almost every month, and with that there will be anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 15. I think the general average on our tournament software is about 12 to 15 items per release. We've had 3 mini releases so far with the Golf Shop product, and each one of those has had 4 to 5 different items on it. So it's definitely going to be on a consistent schedule of about 1 a month. Some of those may be bigger, some of those may be smaller, depending on the quote unquote development load that each item takes to put together.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got another question popped up here, and keep them coming. We want to try to get these answered. Yeah. So when printing the PO after the order has been finalized, there currently seems to be a lot of information missing. Is there a way to customize what shows up when printing the PO? We use printed POs in tandem with the invoices to submit to accounting.
I don't have a definite answer for that one just yet. I know we've gotten that one brought into us already from one of our current users, so we are working on trying to get that and the reporting pieces really nailed down, so that not only can you print the POs very easily, but additionally generate those reports we mentioned during the demo as well for either your quarterly, future, or sort of end of season needs.
Great, thanks. If anybody else has any questions, well, we've got Justin and Greg here. Please type them in. Justin, was there anything else that you wanted to touch on here?
No, I mean, I
to
think
highlight?
we highlighted pretty much everything. I mean, I think the ability to do your searches is another one that's nice, so that when you are at the end of a week, or if you just want to see what's overdue, you can quickly search for overdue items. You can quickly come in and see what, maybe doesn't have a vendor invoice, quickly track those down, or you can search things by vendors too. So the search capabilities are right there for you to quickly enhance the usability of the dashboard. No, I think everything right now we've at least touched on. Like we said, it's still the beginning stages of the product, but we're pretty happy with what we've put together already, and the amount of releases and updates we've been able to add already have been.
And Justin, just so I'm clear, it's the mobile responsiveness is on the order tracker dashboard as well.
Yes.
Okay. So that works pretty well on if you have an iPad in the shop or something like that, somebody wants to walk around with.
Absolutely.
Got it. Well, great. Well, again, we'll hang out here for another minute or so if anybody has any questions. If not, Justin, really appreciate your time, and Greg, thanks, and
Sure.
excited. Obviously, this kind of has some history for me on where this product came from, so I'm excited to see what you guys are doing with it. And I think it's for what my product was in GEMS, this is going to be far superior. So I'm excited to watch you guys grow with it, and happy to be partnering with you to make that make that better. So. We did just get another question here. Are you able to upload images of invoices to the order? I don't know if it would be an image or a PDF.
Yeah, no, not yet. I mean, there's been a lot of talk of how can we get not only inventory items in quicker, whether it be scanning barcodes or taking pictures of the invoices. I would say that all those in our development list, but the direction and what finally will come from those is not known just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that technology exists on the tournament side when we're uploading to portals and stuff. So to be able to pull some of that data and how we upload it to the, like the invoice, as they were saying before, is going to be important. So that we have that technology, and how can we adapt it to this as well. So,
yeah, I think that's a great point, Greg. There's a lot of stuff that we've got that works very well in the tournament product so far that we're trying to bring over and expect to do so as well. We do have a separate team that's devoted just to the golf shop, so it's not an additional piece that's pulling from our already large focus on the tournament program. So we are excited about building that team and really being able to push more items into this product very quickly. So yeah, obviously being able to add a PDF or an image of those different pieces of the invoice would be certainly helpful.
And then another question: what information would we need to get to Golf Genius before we put this into use? I.e., logos, member names, accounts, etc. And how long does it take to integrate so we can put it into use? So I guess what's the setup?
Yeah, absolutely. If you were ready to move forward, we would send you a contract. Once we get that back in, the follow-up piece would be for you to send us a spreadsheet of your vendors. We send you a template for that. So if you want to either use one that you already have or use the template that we provide, either way, it's just a basic spreadsheet. So we know account numbers, rep names, emails, addresses, those details. All that takes about 2 days to set up. The member list comes over directly from your Golf Genius tournament software account. If you don't have that product already, then you can send us a spreadsheet, and that may add a day or two just for us to get those sorted out and put together. But all that's done pretty much on an upload basis at this point. So it's usually a 2 to 3 day turnaround time between the time we get everything from you and the time that you're logging in and setting up your first order.
And talk about training. I guess the customer service aspect and how does that work?
Yeah, the training. So your Golf Genius rep, whether it's me, Greg, or whomever, would take you through training on how to use the product. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward right now, so there's not a lot of additional training that's needed. Certainly questions come up, and when that happens, you always have no different than with our tournament software. You have the help tab for getting started. And, the knowledge base is about to grow as well. But right now we've got 3 or 4 articles in here for you, but there's always the contact us button when something's not working. That does still go directly to our support team to help you with that as well. So again, trying to utilize a lot of the things that we've seen that work very well on our tournament product and bring them into the golf shop product right away.
Great. Well, good. Some good questions there. And
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
and also mention if anybody has any questions, I know this happens to me quite a bit. About 2 minutes after you hang up, you think of something. So feel free to contact me or go right to the guys in Golf Genius, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you out. If anybody's ready to move forward with this, again, you can contact me. I'll send you on to the Golf Genius crew, or you can reach them directly.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Justin and Greg, really appreciate your time. If you guys have anything else, and everybody that's been on this, we're also going to post this on the GBN website and email out the video. So hopefully we'll answer some other questions for people as well. So again, appreciate your time. Oh, we got one more. Got one more question here. Got one more. So when the item is shipped, does the order track automatically move over to the received by club, sorry.
Let me share my screen. So when it's in transit and you get those details, you're going to press the next button to move it to receive by club when you actually get it. I don't see the question, so I'm not sure if that's exactly what it was.
I think it was when the item is shipped, does the order tracker automatically move it over to the receive club? I think what the answer to me seems like it's a manual. You as the club realize that the club was shipped or the product was shipped, and then you have to go in and manually say go to the next stage, right?
Yeah, so once the order is placed, if they give you that tracking information and you're able to include it on the order, you can click the little van. It'll take you right to FedEx or UPS, auto-populate the tracking number so you can see where it is in that process. But once it's received at the club, you would actually come back in, hit next, put in the received date, hit confirm, and then that's when it's going to take it from in transit to received by club. And that is the step that's going to generate that final piece of communication to the member currently as far as the item being received, and they can come pick it up at their convenience.
Now, is that something, Justin, and has there been a talk, or do you think that there might be the possibility that eventually sort of, hey, it ships from the vendor, there's some sort of integration there that tells your system that it moves to the next stage?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that automation that we're still pushing towards getting, enhanced and added to it. It's just going to be sort of, knocking off some of the big key items first, like the customizable emails and managing some of those things. We've got, I know, 150 different ideas already on the feedback list from our current users. So that's just going to keep tracking so that we've got ideas just like that we can continue to build on. And as more requests come in, we can start to push those development pieces forward. It's really going to be designed around trying to bring as much of that Amazon experience that we're all used to the country club world, where you can place an order, have instant communication between you and the customer, your member, but also get those details on when it's delivered, when it's arrived, and kind of know what that process is throughout. Because I think we all kind of know right now, the member comes in, they place the order, we tell them, hey, great, we'll call you when it comes in, and then whether that's 2 weeks, 5 days, or a month, unless it comes in or unless they call or unless they stop by, there's not a whole lot of communication between us and the member. Even though we want there to be, there's really not a lot of detail sometimes that's provided during that order process. So as we continue to go through this and can integrate and speak with those vendors and their websites, there's a lot of things I think we can start to knock out of the way and get really get a lot more clarity and transparency on that process for everybody.
Great. Very good. Well, again, guys, thanks for taking the time here and for everybody for being on here. So I'm going to go ahead and